Rockstar Games has always hidden some of its darkest stories in plain sight. Welcome to Lore Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto has long buried its secrets in crime scenes, newspaper clippings, and half-forgotten locations. In Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the most disturbing of these hidden stories belongs to a figure known only as the Infinity Killer, also called the 8 Killer. 14 years before the events of GTA 5, a string of murders quietly unfolded across San Andreas. Over the course of a single month in 1999, 8 people were killed in a pattern centered entirely on one obsession, the number 8. The crimes were never fully explained, never publicly resolved, and were eventually buried by time. But Rockstar left behind just enough evidence for players to uncover the truth. The man believed to be responsible was Merle Abrams, a resident of Sandy Shores. By all accounts, Abrams lived a quiet, forgettable life for decades. Born around 1947, there's almost no record of his family, career, or personal relationships. He existed in the margins until his late 50s, when something snapped. According to in-game documents, Abrams developed a severe psychosis that manifested as an obsession with infinity and the number 8. Symbols he believed carried a deeper meaning. In December of 1999, 8 joggers were murdered across San Andreas. The victims shared no known personal connections, but each death followed the same ritualistic logic. Their bodies were hidden, scattered, and deliberately removed from public discovery. Inside Abrams' home, investigators found walls covered in strange messages and symbols, prompting the media to label the case the Infinity Murders. Abrams was arrested soon after and transferred to Bolingbrook Penitentiary, where he sat for years awaiting trial. The trial never came. 5 years later, he died behind bars. He never confessed, but he didn't need to. The evidence told its own story. The case against him was almost entirely circumstantial, which explains why it stalled for so long. There were no witnesses, no murder weapon, no bodies. What police did have was obsession. Messages scrawled inside his home referenced the number 8 repeatedly. One message stood out above all others. There will be 8. It wasn't a warning, it was a declaration. Even inside prison, Abrams continued leaving clues. Scratched into the recreation yard wall at Bolingbrook Penitentiary was a cryptic riddle. Where water meets land and fire once spewed forth, there the Infinity 8 shall stay until I return. At the time it meant nothing. Years later, players would realize it meant everything. Exploring Sandy Shores in GTA 5 reveals the full trail Abrams left behind. His house sits in the northeastern part of town. Inside, players can find disturbing markings, symbols, and even a pair of running shoes hidden in the rafters. Possibly trophies, possibly a red herring. A newspaper clipping detailing the murders lies abandoned in another house on the west side of town. And carved into a rock southeast of Sandy Shores is a rhyme describing 8 deaths, written like a twisted nursery poem. But the real breakthrough comes from a drawing. Both Abrams' home and inside Bolingbrook Penitentiary, there's an illustration of an erupting volcano. At first glance, it looks meaningless. But when players overlay its shape onto the map of San Andreas, it aligns perfectly with one location, the northernmost point of Paleto Bay. That's where the riddle leads. Diving beneath the water at that spot reveals the final secret. 8 submerged bodies, buried together beneath the ocean floor. The missing joggers, all of them. Preserved in a silence, hidden exactly where Abrams promised they would be. There's no mission marker, no police report, no reward. Players can't alert authorities. The discovery changes nothing in the game's world except for the player who finds it. The Infinity Killer remains one of the most chilling mysteries Rockstar has ever created. Like the chainsaw murderer before him, Merle Abrams exists as a reminder that the darkest stories in GTA aren't always told through cutscenes or missions, but through what the game lets you uncover. And as for what truly drove Abrams to his infinity-fueled madness, the answer fittingly was never meant to be found. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Lore Theft Auto. If you enjoy the content, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment. All those things help the channel. Until next time, peace.